Kwa sababu mtu ambaye anafikiria ya kwamba matusi ndio itampatia kura, ngoja ataona ashangae. Tunaelewana? Hakuna haja ya vita. Sasa kwenda kule kupiga ndege ya baba, unapiga ndege imekufanya nini? Kama kitu ingetokea hapo, hiyo jiwe iwe imeipiga huyo mzee, si hiyo ni moto ungewaka taifa letu la Kenya? Tunataka mambo kama haya? Tunataka mambo kama haya? Watu waombe kura kwa njia ya heshima na amani. Si namna hiyo. Kutangaza msimamo ya mtu sio kufanya wewe ni adui yake. Ni msimamo wako tu. Mimi nikisema naunga baba mkono, mimi sisemi mwingine ni mbaya, lakini kura yangu mimi najua pahali nataka iende. Ama namna gani? Si hiyo ni haki yangu? Nimekosea? Nimekosea?
All members of UDA and our Kenya Kwanza alliance must never engage in any acts of violence. Violence is retrogressive, primitive, and as I said, tears down our democracy. I also take this opportunity to apologize to the Honorable Raila Odinga for what happened to him yesterday. It was really unfortunate.
I think my friend Mulu should not take it or interpret what I said to mean that I think I take for granted or that I consider it a trivial matter of the incident that happened in Soy constituency in Uasin Gishu, where it's alleged that Raila Odinga's chopper was stoned. We take that very seriously.
Right.
And I'm happy and I've supported the fact that DCI has in fact already arrested persons, has taken statements from various people, and that is underway. So what I was saying is that my disappointment is that my President Uhuru Kenyatta can come and talk about the stoning of Raila Odinga and even threaten Kenyans that the country would have banned. You know, that is incitement. The president should not do that. The president should have come out the moment Kenyans started starving. He should have come out when there was the police instigated violence in Kenol, in Murang'a County, against the deputy president in church. He should have come out at the time the president was stoned in Kondele, at the time the president was stoned in Narumoru, the deputy president, I mean. So there's been many incidences of violence in this country, and we expect the president to have spoken about it. Anyway, we are happy that at least he has spoken now on something, but there's been many incidences that he has passed and not spoken.
Thank you.
And as
Gladys.
I close, lastly, if all of you recall, just allow me a moment on this. You recall that when we had the by-elections of the Kibra by-elections, the president himself, when there was violence there mentioned on some politicians, his comment, and you can quote me because it was reported by the press, he said it's a good thing it was politicians who were attacked because they can afford to go to Nairobi hospital. So he actually condoned violence during the Kibra by-elections. So Mr. President, stop your double speak and come out forthrightly as the visionary and unitary leader of this country.
Gladys Boss Shollei, Mheshimiwa, is the women's representative for Uasin Gishu County. She's a close associate of Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. Yeah. And this morning, just a few moments ago, she said a few things that made my blood run cold. Yeah. What exactly did she say? What did she say that has alarmed Chris Kumekucha so much and should alarm Kenyans? Well, listen in to my show today and find out. Karibu sana, and as usual, enjoy. I have said this so many times that I would not blame you, my dear subscribers, if you're getting bored. But let me repeat it. What happens after a crime is committed? How people behave, what they say after a crime has been committed is very important. It will tell you a lot, and many times it will lead you right up to the doorstep of the perpetrators. Now this morning I took in a breakfast show hosted by one of our leading TV stations in the country. Now I rarely take in these breakfast shows. I rarely take in mainstream media, because I don't want it to skew my views. You know, it is very easy to be influenced by media that you're taking in, and therefore I'm very careful, because I'm sure all of you would not want a rehash of what is in the mainstream media on this channel. But this morning I had a bit of time in my hands, and the circumstances and situation was such that I decided to take in this show. And on today's morning show, the response of Uasin Gishu Women's Rep Gladys Boss Shollei to the question she was being asked sent me in total shock. What? I became very alarmed. Okay, the classic UDA tactics, in case you haven't noticed. There's a lot of consistency in the way they respond. As I mentioned in an earlier video, what they always do is that instead of responding directly to something, they divert attention. And they do this very effectively because they divert attention to something they know will trigger emotions in people. So that people start discussing that other issue and forget where it all started. And so she took a swipe immediately at the remarks of President Uhuru Kenyatta over the weekend concerning Baba's incident. She quoted many other instances where the deputy president was allegedly the victim of violence from the people, from a crowd. And then she went on to say that the president should have acted more presidential. I guess what she meant is that the president should not have tried to defend Baba, that he should have stayed out of it. In my opinion, there was nothing that was not presidential about the president's remarks, because the president was talking about peace in the country. And he said, if by mistake a stone had hit Raila Odinga, they would be fire in the country. Nothing wrong with that. And it is a fact. Raila Odinga has got many passionate supporters, who may not want to think before they act. That's the truth. But the big glaring issue that came out here, and one other participant on the show pointed it out, is that the reaction of Gladys Boss Shollei, Mheshimiwa, on such a serious incident, trying to divert attention, trying to downplay the whole thing as if it was nothing, is extremely disturbing. Of course, Boss Shollei later recovered, realized what she had done, and tried to desperately correct the situation. And she apologized, and she told us she abhors violence. But it was too late. Her initial reaction to the whole incident was extremely telling, and gives us even more evidence that whatever happened to Baba, even if it did not have the blessings of UDA, at least UDA are sympathetic with the perpetrators. Because when you respond to something like this by joking, like Kipchumba Murkomen did, when you respond to it by pointing to other incidences, what does it tell you? People are not taking it seriously. Two wrongs cannot make a right, but people are pointing to other incidences. which are also debatable. Her reaction is just another confirmation that whatever happened to Baba last Friday in Uasin Gishu is something the UDA party is taking very lightly. And it is also something that the UDA party may know much more about than what they're telling us. That is what has come out very clearly. Because if you're taking it lightly, already maybe you have information we don't. That's why you're taking it lightly. Why don't you share that information? The UDA response is telling us very clearly that they're not very concerned about the violence that is creeping into our politics at a very sensitive time as we head towards the general election. The party seems not to be very concerned that it is very easy for this violence to get out of hand, because this is a very sensitive time, during campaigns for general elections. The party does not seem to care, or at the very least, they don't think it's important. That should alarm any Kenyan. It should alarm us a lot. Because you see, Gladys Boss Shollei is very close to Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. What she says, what comes out of her mouth, reflects very closely what the Deputy President is thinking, and those closest to him are thinking. This is what is very alarming and very disturbing. And clear evidence of that is that one of the first remarks she made was to attack the president for the remarks he made concerning the Baba incident on Friday. There's something else she talked about that puzzled me. She talked about the stone that made a hole on Baba's chopper. And she said it is very possible the stone either hit the windshield and fell to the ground, or it hit the windshield and fell somewhere inside the helicopter. And therefore, she said, she hoped that the police had collected that stone to extract fingerprints so that they can be able to get clear evidence to nail the culprits, or at least some of them. Now, there's a huge problem here. Mrs. Shollei is a lawyer by profession. How can she not know that there's no way you can get fingerprints from a stone? You can't even extract proper blood samples from a stone. It's very difficult. But fingerprints, definitely you can't. There was some research that came out in 2014, cutting edge technology, where we were told that it would be possible, finally, to be able to get some fingerprints from stones. I believe this information came from Israel. This breakthrough was somewhere in Israel. But it is not yet in the market. So you can't get fingerprints from a stone. Now, shall we say that Shollei knew this? And is just trying to make fun of the whole situation, knowing very well that it will be difficult to get evidence? Or what was she really doing? So assuming that Shollei knows this, what was she really trying to get across? Because if she doesn't know, and she's a lawyer, again there are question marks. Now, you all need to know that you did take criticism against them very seriously. It is just like in the Kanu days. Any criticism against Moi was taken very seriously. And chances were that you'd be dealt with sooner rather than later. Now, I'm very much aware that UD are not happy with me. They call me a Raila blogger these days. And I'm also aware, and I have solid evidence to prove, that people associated with UDA have been tracking my exact location. Oh yes. And so we must ask the question, why do they want to track my location? What do they want to use that information for? Those are questions we must ask. And those are questions that should be evidence in case anything happens to me. Yeah, because I'm sensitive to these things. I've been doing this a long time because I'm sensitive about my security. And I take precaution, every precaution within my powers. Yeah, because I also have children who depend on me. In fact, I'm now the only parent. So I'm even more sensitive about my personal security. But of course, I trust God Almighty, my protector, who even very recently protected me from a situation that took away the life of my late wife. I think many of you know what I'm talking about. But the main point I want you to take note of here is that those of you intending to vote for UDA should understand what kind of regime you're voting for. Yeah? Because if people are behaving like this and they're not yet in power, how do you imagine they'll behave when they're finally in power? Yeah, and they control all state machinery and instruments of power. How do you think they're going to behave? That is the question. Even our young people who are easily cheated, easily swayed by emotion, should ask themselves as they cast a vote for UDA. And don't get me wrong, I'm not asking those people intending to cast a vote for UDA to change their vote and vote for Raila. No, there are many presidential candidates. What you need to know is that when you vote, there are consequences. Therefore, make sure after you vote, you do not have any regrets. Whether or not your candidate wins, make sure that your conscience is clear. Your conscience is clean after you cast your vote. Whoever wins, that's what I'd like to advise. But then, of course, you don't need to follow my advice. Folks, I believe as a country we're in trouble. We're in trouble because if the president can say something harmless and people react to it so badly, people associated with this subordinate or somebody who's supposed to be subordinate, the deputy president, then as a country we're in trouble, very serious trouble. And the remarks of Gladys Boss Shollei on the morning show today confirm and cement the fact that as a country we're in very serious trouble. Many people maybe don't see it yet, but I hope more and more people see it sooner rather than later. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha. Out of all the political books I've ever written, and there are quite a number, Dark Secrets of the Kenyan Presidency stands out as an amazing bestseller. And also many consider it a classic because it takes a look at the office of the Presidency of the Republic of Kenya like nobody else has ever done before or even to date. And many of those who have taken in this amazing ebook say that they just couldn't stop reading through. They just couldn't put it down. Maybe that has a lot to do with some of the mind-boggling information contained in this book. Did you know, for example, that Jomo Kenyatta once confessed in public that he would never, ever touch alcohol again? Many people don't know that, and they don't even know the circumstances. But many of us know that the first president of Kenya during his presidency enjoyed the occasional stiff drink when his health allowed, despite the earlier firm promise he had made in public earlier in his life. And don't even mention the scene painted very clearly in the book, where a small boy shivering because it was raining cats and dogs and carrying a 2-year-old baby on his back arrived at the home of his grandfather, who made some predictions that dominated his life, frustrated him for the rest of his life, until that prediction came true. Or maybe it is because of the picture painted of Daniel Arap Moi, especially during his first cabinet meeting, where it was difficult for him even to look up. And even the other cabinet ministers, some of them who had been harassing him for years, could not look at him straight in the eye. There was so much tension at that cabinet meeting, captured perfectly, accurately in Dark Secrets. It is totally amazing. And there's much more, right up to the Kibaki presidency. Now I have some amazing news for you. This book is available in video format. That is, you don't even have to read it. Many people hate to read. They don't have the time to read. You can take it in as a video. You can take it in as an audiobook. Listen to it right through. And I have an amazing offer for you today. Not only will I send you the ebook in PDF format, you can even print it out as a book and read it. I will also send it to you in video format, so that you can listen to it right through or watch it right through. Amazing, isn't it? But there's more. If you take advantage of this very latest offer of mine, I will give you 6 months membership free to my weekly intelligence briefings. That means if you already have 6 months, I will add you another 6 months on top of what you have, so that you have a whole year to enjoy my weekly intelligence briefings. And by the way, I have quite a number of briefings, Jikoni, that I'm preparing, which I'll release in quick succession within the next few days. And those are weekly intelligence briefings you don't want to miss. So don't waste any time. For slightly above $10, very little money, you can't even go into most restaurants with that kind of money, you'll be able to receive both the PDF format of Dark Secrets of the Kenyan Presidency and the video version. So don't waste any time. You can see the details on your screens right now. Just send a blank email to that email address you see, and you'll receive full payment instructions on what to do. The same payment instructions are repeated in the description area below this video on YouTube. Go for it. This offer is only for a very limited time. So take full advantage of it. And of course, in taking up this offer, you'll also be supporting the work I do on this channel. And if you believe this work is important, then you will be doing something very important in getting hold of Dark Secrets of the Kenyan Presidency. Go for it right away. Asanteni sana for your time. This is your humble servant, Chris Kumekucha. When God gives you a gift, it is not for you. It is not for your family. It is for other people. You're supposed to use your gift to change the lives of other people. And for those who seek happiness in this life, nothing will make a human being happier. Trust me, nothing on this world will make a human being happier than the knowledge that they have changed one person's life forever. Now I've been very fortunate to have been very gifted by God. And not only gifted, but also trained in the renowned university of hard knocks. Yeah? The harsh university of this life. And I feel very privileged and very humbled, yeah, to get to know all the time that I've changed many people's lives forever. I even know a couple of people who no longer come to this channel, not because they hate me, but because they are busy these days. So busy that they hardly have time, but they've regained their dignity. They're putting food on the table. They're doing a lot of things, amazing things. And all thanks to some books I produced, which you can see on your screens right now, that changed their lives. Not only did they get that idea that changed everything, but they also got the skills to be able to sell without looking like they're selling. Because it's one thing to get a brilliant idea to make money, but it's quite another to do it practically and get people interested and get somebody to actually pay you real money for what it is you're offering. It is also one thing to have a business that is struggling, a business operating way below its true potential. That's one thing. And it's quite another to turn around that business so that it prospers. You have plenty of customers. My sincere hope in making this short clip is to influence and change the lives of many more Kenyans, because that is my mandate. That is what I was born to do. And I felt that this is the perfect time. Many people have been hit very hard by the COVID manenos. Life has become very difficult, almost unbearable for some. Some businesses that were making serious money before Corona are now struggling. Others have shut down completely. There is no better time for these two amazing titles have produced. Yeah. 101 brilliant business ideas or money-making ideas that will thrive in the country called Kenya and well beyond, almost anywhere in the world. And how to get plenty of customers immediately, very quickly. For only $25, you can have both ebooks, life-changing ebooks. And for only $15, you can have only the ideas. Now you can see details on your screens right now. You will find full payment details in the description area below this video on YouTube. Go for it. I highly recommend it. And I have a suggestion. Maybe you're okay. You're doing okay. I would suggest that you get it for a friend. You get the books for a friend, a relative, or somebody you know who is having it very difficult right now. It'll help them. It'll change their lives. And you'll have helped me to touch one more life, to change one more life, because that is my mission. Asante sana.